The tooth comprises of different structures, namely the enamel, dentine, pulp, cementum, periodontal ligament, and alveolar bone.
The area shown here in white is called enamel. It is the hardest tissue of the human body which acts as a protective cover. Enamel attains a maximum thickness of approximately 2 to 2.5 millimeters. Color of the enamel can range from yellowish white to grayish white based on the translucency of enamel. Enamel is composed of enamel rods. From the dentino-enamel junction, the rods run a tortuous course towards the outer surface. Generally, the rods are oriented at right angles to the dentin surface, and at the cervical and central parts of the crown in a deciduous tooth, they are approximately horizontal, and in permanent teeth, they deviate apically. The area shown in pale yellow is dentin. Dentin forms the bulk of the tooth. It lies subjacent to the enamel. It consists of dentinal tubules that contain cytoplasmic processes of odontoblasts. Dentin is avascular and viscoelastic. There are three types of dentin: primary, secondary, and tertiary dentin. Primary dentin forms before root completion and is of two types: mantle dentin and circumpulpal dentin. Secondary dentin, it forms after root completion and is seen on the roof and the floor of pulp chambers. Tertiary or reparative dentin, it forms as a reaction to an irritant to protect the pulp. It shows irregularity in the number, the size, and arrangement of dentinal tubules.
The area shown here in red is the pulp. The pulp that is found in the crown of the tooth is called the coronal pulp, and the one found in the root is called the radicular pulp. The coronal pulp shows pulp horns which follow the shape of the cusps of the tooth. Pulp is the only soft tissue of the tooth and is highly vascular. Pulp responds to any stimuli by pain. They are made up of odontoblasts, fibroblasts, collagen fibers, undifferentiated mesenchymal cells, defense cells, etc. The average volume of the pulp is 0.02 cubic centimeters. Pulp contains of four zones, namely the odontoblastic zone, the cell-rich zone, the cell-free zone, and the pulp proper or central pulp. The area marked in blue here is the cementum. It covers the root and its furcations. It is a hard mineralized avascular tissue and is non-innervated. Cementum is dull and light yellow in color. Cementum can be differentiated into cellular and acellular cementum on the basis of presence or absence of cementocytes. It can also be divided into extrinsic or intrinsic fiber cementum based on whether the collagen fibers are derived from the periodontal ligament or cementoblast respectively. The area marked here in pink is the periodontal ligament. It's a fibrous connective tissue that anchors the teeth to the alveolar bone. Collagen fibers of periodontal ligament penetrate alveolar bone and the cementum. The principal fibers embedded in the cementum and alveolar bone are called the Sharpey's fibers.
This part is known as the alveolar bone. It is the alveolar process of jaws that forms and supports the sockets of teeth. It has two parts, namely the alveolar bone proper, which is comprised of compact bone, and the supporting alveolar bone, which is formed of spongy or cancellous bone.